All right, hello everyone. This is more like a conversational video. I haven't done like all my research or um, decided exactly how I'm going to present it or what I'm going to say. And I came across a book. It's called Seeds of Change, and it's the 500 years since Columbus. And the book just kind of opened my eyes to um, um, my lack of knowledge with what was all taking place outside of the Bible. And what I mean by that is it kind of, I realized that the Bible was quite narrow, kind of pigeonholed. Um, yes, it's about a certain group of people. Yes, it's about a certain um, God. And during a certain, or a vast time frame, though, from the beginning all the way up until um, beyond Christ's death, Constantine and all that. So when um, they were ruling and made all the decisions that they did make with Christianity, and then also like all the interactions of the different cultures and tribes and um, communities and countries that existed, but it was still very narrow-minded because obviously it was on one part of the continent, one part of the earth. This particular book that I have actually mentions other civilizations that existed during the time. I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but I realized that my education in that was very, very narrow. I did not read enough when it comes to um, the colonization of the rest of the world and how others lived before colonization on this continent, the United States of America, America, South America also. So from Canada down to South America is basically what this book is. So because it does talk about the 500 years since colonization, but what it did give me also was the names of the cities and countries, civilizations that existed before colonization. So with that, I was able to look up because the names were giving of the people who lived there and the names of their cities, and also mentioning of their cultures. And then doing that research with that, I looked up the cities and then found out what the names of those cities are currently. So one of the cities that existed during biblical times, like when Rome and all that, and um, when Jesus was alive and all that. So the countries that existed um, during that time, during Roman era, I'll say that part. So during the Roman era, um, those cities are in Mexico City. The names have been changed because of colonization. So the original names before colonization are in this book. For instance, like the Aztec community or the Aztec people. And there's a city that people go to in Mexico to visit that has the pyramids in it and the temples. And that place was a big thriving like commerce area. So, and those, it was kind of like a melting pot of people. It wasn't just one nationality because it was a big trade hub. One particular area, not that whole area, but one particular area. And that area was around during biblical times where people of all nationalities from all over were actually coming in through boats and ships, walking, all of that to trade. And it was this thriving city that had all the amenities, and it was a wealthy community. This place happens to be a city just outside of Mexico City. So it's not Mexico City, but like right outside Mexico City. And the book also explains like how far Mexico extended all up into the United States, where currently is Texas and Colorado and California and all that, and how all that actually belonged to the Aztecs and those before, which happened to be of um, um, Mexican descent. So what we call Mexican, because they weren't called all that before. That is not what they were called during biblical times. So saying all this to say that um, I would like to also discuss that too, about how narrow-minded and pigeonholed that the Bible um, is presented, especially with how the witnesses do it. Because me looking back now and reading some of even the Bible storybooks, and the way they narrate and the way they write a story as if they would say, well, possibly they did this, and maybe they thought that, or maybe they did this, or they did this, or they did that. They literally interjected what they felt um, happened. It might not even be biblical, but they definitely created a storyline on how the characters in the Bible lived and moved, and their thoughts and all of that. So the book culturally is showing all the different, like I say, nationalities that actually function with the trade and purchasing of materials and all the things that, the food, the grain, the herbs, all the things that they would have used in biblical times with um, trade, silk and fabrics and, even animals. So, um, and then culturally, those people were, like I said, of all nationalities. So they were people of color also. And noticing that in majority of the witnesses' publications, especially before they allowed integration, because I don't know, some people know witnesses weren't always um, they were once segregated. They were once, when they started out, they only allowed people of a certain color. They only allowed Caucasian people to be in their religion. They did not want black people in there, or any other nationality in their religion at all. They considered only white people to be Jehovah's Witnesses and the chosen ones. So, looking at this book and, of course, where it was located and how everybody was trading and of all nationalities that they chose to, in their books, everybody was depicted as Caucasian. I can honestly say as a child that I was wondering, so where are all the black people? But that's how they portrayed majority of their books, is everybody was Caucasian. And it made sense once I read Insight to the Scriptures, and then I also read the book, the witness book that they put out about the history of how the religion got started. And it was definitely before segregation, before the 1914, before all that. So during that time, there was no integration. There was no black and white meeting together. So it definitely was a religion that started out just for Caucasian people. But yeah, kind of went a little off to what my main thing was, but it was because the book has definitely opened up my eyes and thought process to what the rest of the world was doing, what the rest of the world was looking like, and how everyone else was living during biblical times that was not just in what the Bible says. Because some of the ways that the witnesses depict other civilizations, they say everybody was pagan. They say everybody was sacrificing their kids. They say everybody was evil and everybody was killing off their family and thieves and and worshiping pagan gods, and that they were the only ones doing the right thing. So, and we're living a civilized life, but based on historical facts and books and material. This book came from the Smithsonian, so I guess it's a pretty good source. But yeah, I will come back on and discuss some of my findings, especially about some of the cities and countries and civilizations that existed that are still currently here. You can actually go see the ruins. You can actually walk them, touch them, be there near them. It's just that they have names that have been changed because of colonization. And the new colonization name doesn't allow you to tie it back to biblical times unless you do your research. So just thought I'd share that. Thanks for listening.